Hello there. Now, if you haven't heard the story already, I'll just sum it up. The establishment is running scared of Tommy Robinson. If you haven't already heard, Tommy Robinson has been remanded by the police to appear in court on Monday. That means he stays in prison until Monday. He gave himself up to the police. He surrendered to the police as they requested him to do this afternoon at 3 p.m. down in Folkestone in Kent, where they arrested him on terrorism charges for not handing his PIN code over, I think, and I'm assuming, and that's what's alleged happened. So what's happening is he has now got to go to Woolwich Crown Court on Monday to face the charges, basically. And of course, Woolwich Crown Court is right next to Belmarsh Prison. So you can see where this is headed, can't you? This comes just as we're about to have one of the biggest events of the year, if not the decade, in London. Unite the country, unite the kingdom, the big rally in London. We start in Victoria Station at 11 a.m. and we march off at 1 p.m. to go to Parliament Square or Parliament Street to watch the latest video that Tommy's produced. But the establishment is running extremely scared. Now, when Tommy returned to the country, remember, he wasn't arrested. He wasn't approached. He wasn't challenged as he came in through the airport. Why not? Why not deal with it right then? No, they had to wait until the last moment, Friday afternoon. Oh, look, it's all too late. The court's going to be closed in a minute. Let's leave it till Monday, shall we? Everyone can see through that. Absolutely everyone. This is not going to end well. Not for the establishment. But not because anyone's going to kick off. Oh, no. We may be angry, but we're going to hold our temper. We're going to have a rally to unite the kingdom. We're going to do exactly what Tommy wanted us to do. To be peaceful. To carry through a protest, a rally, but in good humour, I suppose you'd call it. We will be determined and passionate, but peaceful. And that is going to be the big message that we send to the establishment and all their woke lefty hangers-on. Tommy has been extremely brave throughout all of this. He could have stayed abroad for as long as possible and awaited for the extradition to come to him for the alleged terrorism charges, when in all fact he actually did there was refused to hand over his PIN code to his phone, because his phone contains journalistic information that could be a huge embarrassment to the police. That's why they want him out the way, and that's why they wanted his PIN code. Then they can trawl through, find all this information and do what they want with it, and no one's ever going to be able to prove otherwise. And then they can trawl through and see who he's been talking to, where he's been going, and all that sort of thing. For a journalist, no, that shouldn't happen. That should take an extra special type of warrant or judicial procedure, not some judge just to say, or some police officer in this case, just to say, hand your PIN over or we're doing you. And I remember listening to something that Tommy was talking about at his first, when he was actually challenged at the port going out of Dover, abroad after the last rally, the second rally, where he said that the police officers told him, well, we know you actually haven't, done anything, but we have this power, so we have to use it. I mean, that just tells you all you need to know about this lacking establishment and this totally lacking authority that they have now. They're becoming over-authoritarian to make up for a lack of us having a belief in what they're doing and a trust in what they're doing. They are untrustworthy. And the worse this gets, the more draconian and tyrannical they're going to get. This isn't the last we're going to see of this. It's going to spread. And soon the lefties, like they found out when the Just Stop Oil type started getting put away a bit longer than they should have been. Even I was surprised at the sentences they were handed out with. You know, looking back, you go, well, okay, I was a bit sort of, they need to go away just to teach them a lesson. But now they're teaching a lesson to everybody else, aren't they? And this will become harder and harder. How long before we have people on street corners watching your every move, your neighbours being hired to keep an eye on you because they think you're a bit iffy? This is the way that East Germany went, and look how that ended in the end. We need free speech, and we need it now, and we also need to look after people who are trying to tell us the truth. The truth, yes. If Tommy gets locked away, it will be for telling the truth. Nothing else. So we have to wonder where this country is going. It's decidedly, disgustingly draconian. This is dystopian to an extent that I don't think that our friend who wrote 1984 would ever think of. I think he wrote the book thinking, well, I'll give you an idea of where it could go, but we are going there. Absolutely we are. I just wonder who's going to come knocking on my door. For what? I've never said anything particularly nasty to people other than having a go at politicians and their policies. But that will soon be verboten. You will agree. You will agree with Starmer's Labour. Otherwise, you will be locked up. That's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. And I fear for our future, for our children. That's really the nub of it. Can you imagine all those lefty teachers being replaced by even more lefty teachers as time goes on, more indoctrinated professors in universities, all churning out police officers, police chiefs, politicians, civil servants and all the rest of it? They soak up all the big jobs because they're always looking for people like themselves, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. That's where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen. And the rest of us are going to have to pay for it. In financial terms, in cultural terms, in political terms, and psychological terms. Because the war is on to damage you, to damage your mind, to damage your individuality, to damage who you are as a person. We cannot allow this to continue. We must fight it with everything we've got, and the way to do it is to vote them out. Keep voting them out. Do not let them win anything. Every single vote they want to push through, every single thing they want to push through, oppose, oppose, and oppose, and oppose again. Stop them operating. If they want to build new houses, stop them. Get on with it. Just get on with it. Stop them in the courts. Make sure you make your voices heard. If they can't build houses, they can't let people into the country. Simple as that. Start using their own weapons against them. Time is short, ladies and gentlemen. We really must get into gear with this. Enough of the old social media armchair warriors. We've now got to get into those council chambers and start challenging those councillors who come out with more educational woke rubbish, who come out with more woke instructions for the NHS, who keep coming out with more woke instructions for the police. That's where they operate, at that sort of level. If you want to change it, you've got to look up what they're doing, get in there and challenge it in the open in the council chambers. And once you've started that, other people will follow you. And when they follow you, they'll start standing. And next May, we could see a whole new tranche of councillors fighting all this at every opportunity. Fighting back at the civil service, both local and central, who keep pushing and pushing this stuff down our throats, down the throats of our children. Anyway, I'm hoping that tomorrow loads and more people will turn up. not fewer people. That's what the establishment wants. They think, oh, Tommy's not going to be there, so we better not go, or we might get hurt or something. No, nothing's going to happen. There's a lot of security involved, and the people there will look after you. All you need to do is turn up, make your voice heard, make yourself seen. Ignore the counter-protesters. They're miles away anyway. They're not going to get anywhere near you. And if they do, that's the police's fault. Blame the police. So now what we've got to do is get on and pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and start to fight anew. This is a struggle for our country, for our heritage, our culture, and our way of life, and our people. How dare we allow the memories of people that went before us to be totally trashed by what they're doing today in this country? And some of them, in a couple of weeks' time, will be parading at the cenotaph, laying wreaths and looking all solemn, while in the back of their head they're deciding how to destroy this whole setup. They don't want any of that in reality, none of them. Anyone at the top of this lot, they don't want that. They would rather it was laid waste. They have no time for it at all. We have to make them make time. We have to make sure it continues. I mean, I read a story the other day that the cenotaph might have to be cordoned off until Remembrance Sunday and Remembrance Day. Ye gods, what a country we've become, where the memory of those that helped, who died to help make this country, and we're just going to throw them under the bus. It's pathetic. Keir Starmer, you should hang your head in shame. And anyone else in your misbegotten cabinet should also do the same. The whole lot needs to go, and so does the Tory front bench. The whole lot needs to go. They're just words. They do not know. They are just making it up as they go along, hoping to get into power and then continue the uniparty state destruction of the UK. We must not let it happen.